Our story begins at the exact moment Estella enters the world. She comes out unlike any other baby, her hair split perfectly down the middle. One half white, one half black from day one. People treat her like she doesn't belong. She grows up sharp and opinionated, even with her own mother, which is why her mother eventually sits her down and names what she sees. There are two people living inside you. Estella is the gentle one, Cruella is the difficult one, the fierce one. School is a disaster from the start. Her mother tries to keep her calm around her classmates. But Estella is basically a magnet for trouble, a violation in her notebook for every incident, a fresh conflict every week, until the headmaster decides she's done and tries to expel her. Her mother, in full form, walks in and reframes the entire situation. I'm the one removing her. This school is not suited for my daughter's abilities. And because she's technically withdrawing, the headmaster is not allowed to write expelled. In the file, her mother does it specifically to protect Estella's record for any future school. They pack up and move to London. On the way to London, her mother stops at Helman Hall, a grand estate, to ask an old friend for help getting settled in their new city. She tells Estella to stay in the car and not move. Then hands her the family necklace before stepping out. Estella, naturally, cannot sit still. She slips out of the car, hides herself in the cake trolley, and rolls right into the middle of a glamorous party happening in the manor. It turns out to be a fashion show, and Estella is completely transfixed by the dresses and the designs, absorbing every detail from behind her hiding spot. Then her dog Buddy breaks free. The estate's guard dogs immediately give chase after her and her dog, and she runs through the grounds in a panic until she spots her mother on a balcony at the cliff's edge, talking to the woman who owns the estate. The Baroness. Estella runs toward her. She trips in the garden. The dogs, who had been chasing her, change direction and bolt straight toward her mother. They knock her off the cliff's edge. She falls, and she doesn't come back up. Estella hears the Baroness accusing her mother, saying she had come there to blackmail her, to extort money in exchange for silence, and implying that her death was her own fault. The dogs circle back looking for Estella, but she's already running. She escapes from the estate, but in the chaos, her mother's necklace falls somewhere in the garden. She keeps running until she can't run anymore. She ends up in London, sleeping beside a fountain, the exact fountain she and her mother had always dreamed of seeing together. She falls asleep there, and when she wakes up the next morning, two young pickpockets are crouching in front of her. Horace and Jasper, with their dog Wink. Before she even knows their names, the police show up chasing them, and Estella just runs with them by instinct rather than risk being caught alone. They make it back to their hideout and shake the police. And just like that, the three of them become a team. The girl who dreamed of being a fashion designer becomes a thief in Jasper's crew. The first thing she does is dye her hair to hide the two-tone look, and with it, she buries Cruella entirely. 10 years pass. Estella, Horace, and Jasper grow up together and become one of the sharpest pickpocket operations in the city. They train Wink to help them pull off jobs without getting caught. Estella handles all the disguise costumes they use so no one ever identifies their faces, but no matter how good their operation is, Estella has always felt like she was meant for something bigger. Everywhere she looks, on billboards, in shop windows, in magazines, the Baroness's fashion house is everywhere. Her winter collection, her legacy, her name. On Estella's birthday, Jasper gives her a gift, an employment application he obtained for Liberty, the Baroness's flagship fashion store. Estella celebrates at the fountain, talks to her mother like she always does, and tells her that finally she has a real shot at her dream. She shows up to start the job and discovers it's a basic cleaning role, but she can't help herself. She keeps pitching ideas to her supervisor and suggesting how her design instincts could be useful to the store. He ignores her completely. You clean, that's it. As punishment for her attitude and her habit of not following instructions, he makes her stay late and clean his entire office. After hours left alone in the store after everyone has gone, Estella pulls a bottle of whiskey from her supervisor's cabinet, takes a long sip, and wanders through the whole place like she owns it until she ends up standing in front of the main display window. The mannequin is dressed in a way that irritates her down to her bones. She rearranges it, then she rearranges the entire window display, completely from scratch, exactly how she would have done it. Then she falls asleep on the floor. She wakes up to crowds gathered outside on the street, staring at the window display. Her supervisor wakes up and summons her to his office, but before he can get her there, the Baroness herself arrives for an unannounced visit. She sees the window. She demands to know who did it. The supervisor says Estella is responsible, and that she's already been fired. The Baroness tells her assistant to hand Estella a personal card, and tell her she's expected at 5 o'clock at the address on the card. She walks past her supervisor without a word. Estella arrives on time. The Baroness is reading press coverage of her last show, all of it praise, all of it calling her a genius and declaring they need to get started on the next collection immediately. She asks Estella to design something new right now, on the spot, for her to evaluate. Estella moves through the space, absorbing everything, observing how the Baroness works, until the moment arrives when the Baroness reviews every designer's sketches one by one. She dismisses them all until she reaches Estella's design. Something about it holds her attention. She pulls out her own scissors and makes adjustments to it right there in front of Estella. Estella beams, walking home afterward. She spots a dress in a small shop window that pulls her in a place called R. She walks in, befriends the owner Artie, and tells him they're going to be the partnership of the era. She gets back to work with the Baroness, and during one routine day on the job, she sees it. Her mother's necklace around the Baroness's neck. She asks about it. The Baroness says it's been hers for years until her servant stole it, then was foolish enough to come back to the house demanding money for her silence. She fell from the cliff's edge. That was the end of it, and she was carrying her own death sentence when she came back. Estella holds her expression steady and says nothing. The Baroness's lawyer Roger walks in to remind her of a meeting, and Estella watches as the Baroness removes the necklace and puts it in the case of the one guard she trusts with it, the same man who was at the estate the night her mother died. Estella goes to the fountain. She sits there for a long time. Then Horace and Jasper find her. They always know to look there. She tells them everything. The Baroness was the woman her mother was speaking to that night at the estate. The dogs that killed her mother were the Baroness's dogs, and she wants her mother's necklace back. They start planning the heist for the Baroness's upcoming black and white ball, being held at the estate. Step 1. Estella maps out every security procedure, every camera location, and every guard position during the 9-minute window when the Baroness sleeps. Step 2. Disable the security system and get into the vault. To do that, someone needs to steal the vault key from the guard, and they need a distraction powerful enough to pull the Baroness's full attention away. The best possible distraction for a woman like the Baroness is someone dressed better than her at her own party. Estella is the obvious candidate, but Jasper points out that if she shows up looking better than the Baroness, she loses her dream job. Estella thinks about it, then makes the call. Stella won't go to the party. Cruella will. The plan executes on schedule. Jasper crawls through the sewers to disable the security system. Horace enters the party as a pest control worker. Cruella arrives in an outfit designed to stop every conversation in the room. She rips off the outer layer to reveal a dress underneath that is simply the most extraordinary thing anyone at that party has ever seen. A press photographer is right there to capture it. The moment the Baroness sees that someone has outshined her at her own event, she orders her guards to throw Cruella out immediately. In the commotion, Cruella lifts the vault key from the guard and throws it up to Horace, who's waiting on the second floor to open the vault. He gets in and finds nothing. No necklace. The guards spot Horace on the cameras because Jasper failed to disable them in time, but instead of having Cruella removed as planned. The Baroness invites her to sit with her, curious about who she is and why she came. Cruella stalls and keeps the Baroness talking while Jasper finds another way, and he disguises himself as a waiter and drops a rat on the dessert tray being served to the Baroness. The moment the Baroness sees a rat at her own party, she screams and starts chasing it through the crowd. Horace, trying to escape from the second floor, falls directly onto the party cake. A canister he was carrying breaks on impact and releases gas into the hall. In the chaos, Cruella rips the necklace directly from the Baroness's neck and tosses it to her own dog, who's hiding under a table inside the party, but the Baroness catches the dog running with something in its mouth. She pulls out a whistle and blows it, and here Cruella freezes because she heard that exact sound before the night her mother died. The Baroness whistled her dogs into charging at her mother and knocking her off the cliff. She didn't fall by accident. She was sent over the edge deliberately. Cruella wasn't responsible for her mother's death. The Baroness murdered her. They all run outside. The necklace has slipped from the dog's mouth, and another of the Baroness's dogs has swallowed it. Cruella kicks a passing car in rage. It is absolutely time to destroy the Baroness completely. The next morning, Cruella opens a newspaper and sees a photo of herself, and the byline on the story belongs to Anita, her only childhood friend. She calls Anita personally and tells her she wants to give her every story exclusively because she's about to launch her own house and make fashion completely new. Meanwhile, Horace and Jasper track down which salon the Baroness's 3 dogs use and send Wink in to lure them out. Wink runs. The dogs chase him, and Jasper has the van ready. All 3 dogs are in the back before anyone knows what happened back at the hideout. Cruella has brought Artie in on the plan. She lays out the next phase, and for the first time, Horace and Jasper see a side of her that isn't Estella. She's giving orders, not suggestions. She tells them Cruella has been holding back long enough, and it's time she took the wheel. Cruella, disguised as Estella, returns to the Baroness's studio the next morning to find the Baroness furious that someone leaked details of her new collection to the press. She demands new spring designs from all her people. Estella watches her, quietly calculating exactly how to take apart everything she has: her career, her reputation, her authority. Piece by piece, the campaign begins. Cruella turns up at every event the Baroness attends and completely overshadows her. Anita documents every appearance Cruella is at a party. She emerges from a garbage truck in a gown. Another evening, she stands on top of the Baroness's own car after trapping her inside it. Each appearance more theatrical, more audacious, more magnetic than the last. Cruella becomes the story. The Baroness becomes the one scrambling to keep up from the submissions for the Baroness's spring collection. She keeps only Estella's design for the centerpiece of the show. Horace delivers the embellishments for it, which Estella has personally decorated with live insect larvae. The plan requires Jasper and Horace to stage a fake attempted break-in at the design studio, making it look like a gang tried to steal the collection as a precaution. All the gowns are locked in the vault that now contains a fully grown colony of hatching insects. Waiting for the door to open the night of the spring show, arrives the Baroness has instructed her assistant John that the moment Estella shows up, he should grab her and lock her somewhere. She suspects Estella and Cruella might be the same person. But Estella doesn't come to the show. The guards try to open the vault. They can't. Something has shorted out the electrical circuit running the door mechanism. They force it open manually. The vault erupts. Hundreds of insects flood out and swarm straight into the audience. Every guest runs for the street. Every gown inside has been destroyed. The guests pour outside to find a full party waiting for them at Estella's fountain, organized by Cruella, who is standing center stage in a gown whose design concept came directly from the pelts of the Baroness's own kidnapped dogs. The police arrive and shut the party down. The Baroness scans the crowd and recognizes one face, the same delivery person who brought the larvae to her studio. She traces him back to the hideout. She arrives with her guards to find Jasper and Horace already tied up. Waiting, she tells Cruella, "Nobody beats me." She burns the place down and leaves Cruella tied to her chair. While smoke fills the room, Cruella loses consciousness, watching a shadow slip through the window. The next day's papers announce Cruella's death in the fire. She wakes up in John's home. He found her and pulled her out. He also found the necklace in the ashes and gives it back to her. He tells her to look carefully at it. Inside is a small key. She asks what it opens. He shows her a box. Inside the box is a birth certificate. A daughter of the Baroness. Cruella stares at it and can't move. John tells her the full story. The Baron was a good and gentle man who desperately wanted a child. The Baroness, a fully committed narcissist, was sent into a rage the moment she discovered she was pregnant when the baby was born. The Baron was traveling for work. The Baroness ordered a servant to take the infant, bury her, and report she had died in childbirth. The servant couldn't do it. He worked at the estate. He handed the baby to the woman who was also at the estate that night. The woman who raised her loved her and kept her secret her whole life. The woman who later came back to the Baroness, likely with proof of what had happened, and was silenced permanently when the Baron received the news that his newborn daughter had died. The grief killed him. The Baroness inherited everything, and Cruella. Estella is the Baron's legal heir. Cruella goes straight to the fountain. She talks to her mother for a long time. She tells her that after all these years, she found out she's the daughter of the most deranged woman she's ever encountered, and she makes her mother a promise. She will not become her. She's going to fix what was broken and get her family out of wherever they're being held. The Baroness, meanwhile, has received confirmation that no body was recovered from the fire. She knows Cruella might still be alive. Horace and Jasper are sitting in a cell, grieving their friend. Sure, they've lost her until they hear a car horn blaring at full volume outside. A garbage truck pulls up to the station gates and Wink leaps out, holding a set of lock picks. The guards all sprint toward the distraction as Cruella drives the truck, giving Horace and Jasper the window they need to open their cell with Wink's tools and walk out clean when Cruella finds them outside. They refuse to get in the car. At first they're done with her chaos and the way she's been running things until she tells them the Baroness is her biological mother. They get in the car. They go to John's house. Cruella lays out everything. She tells them they're her only real family, and she needs them for one last job. John joins the plan. The press begins running stories that the fashion world has nothing left to say now that Cruella is gone, that even the Baroness cannot fill the space she left behind. They get access to the Baroness's charity ball guest list and send every invited guest an outfit request asking them to wear something specific to the event. The night of the ball arrives. The Baroness is prepared. Guards everywhere station for Cruella. She keeps the dog whistle on her. But when the guests begin arriving, they all look like Cruella. Every single one. The guards don't know where to look. John's voice comes through a mic, redirecting all security personnel to the library the moment they're all inside. The doors lock behind them. The Baroness steps out to greet her guests, and someone lifts the dog whistle from her hands without her noticing. She goes to her room to change. She steps out of the bathroom as Estella, having changed out of Cruella's look completely. She stands on the exact ledge from which her mother was thrown. She whistles. The Baroness's dogs come running, and they drag the Baroness right to where Estella is standing. The Baroness releases the dogs, but the moment they reach Estella, she tells them to sit. They sit. She spent all the time they were at the hideout with those dogs, and they know her now. She looks at the Baroness. "I'm here to remove you and take what's mine." She holds up the key. She tells her she found the birth certificate. She knows everything. The police Cruella called before arriving at the party are already on the grounds. John and Artie are gathering every guest into the garden to witness what happens next. The Baroness asks to hold her daughter. She's missed her. She steps closer, arms open, and tries to throw her off the ledge. Every guest watches. The police watch. The Baroness is arrested on the spot. The girl who fell from the ledge, not dead before arriving at the party. Estella had sewn a small parachute into the dress just enough to break the fall and land her in the sea below. Cruella appears at the party alive after being pulled from the water, and a quiet funeral is held for Estella, who died at the hands of the Baroness. Cruella attends the funeral of her own alter ego. And because Estella, before going to that party, transferred every asset she inherited from her biological father, the Baron, into the name of her officially documented friend Cruella de Vil, with full legal paperwork. Everything the Baroness built now belongs to Cruella, every property, every account, every collection, all of it. One last note. One of Cruella's dogs is pregnant from the litter. One puppy goes to Roger, the Baroness's lawyer, and he names it Pongo. Another goes to Anita, who names hers Perdita. Those are the exact same names as the leads in 101 Dalmatians. This film is the origin story.